I want to stay on this story, so let's bring in Peter DiVito, a real estate agent and a resident of Altadena, California. He lost his home to the Eaton fire, and he's joining me now from Napa, California. I'm so sorry you're experiencing this. That's the first thing to say. The images have just been so shocking. I'm sat here just in shock. This is wild. What is the latest on your situation, and how are you doing at the moment?
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. I mean, look, right now it's a mix of all the emotions, as you can imagine, from sadness and complete, utter devastation of our community. I have friends, I have clients that have lost everything and that are completely displaced or disheartened. You don't know where to begin, right? This. Obviously, there are limitations to how responses can be had and what can be done, but it's really hard to not have big questions about how this was handled, how we were not better prepared for this, right? I mean, we didn't get a call, we didn't get a text. No one came to tell us what was happening. Our neighbor literally screaming our names over our fence, and thankfully we heard her and we came out. She's like, "We need to run. We need to leave." I said, "Why? We need to leave now. Look what's happening." And it was happening so fast. We're lucky to have our lives, as you know, but we just don't get it, Ben. This doesn't make sense, right? No. Like the Santa Ana winds, this is not new information, right? Like we go from wet, to this is not new information, Ben. Nothing was done. How is the Santa Ynez Reservoir completely empty since February of 2024, right? Our mayor cut $17.8 million in funding last year. What I just don't understand. It's incomprehensible, and quite frankly, it's inexcusable. What is going on?
Well, I'm sensing real anger there, and of course, I completely understand it. I mean, I've been looking at some of the coverage that we've been reporting over the past few days. I'm like, when are people going to get angry about this? It has been shocking to me that people have lost everything. I guess that's the first reaction, right? Is just to stand there in shock and just take it. But maybe that is turning now. One of the things I'm trying to get my head around is how it seems that there was no warning for these fires, just like you said there. So people evacuated their homes with nothing. It seems like there wasn't even really alerts around this. And it was neighbors knocking on doors, shouts over fences, saying to get out. When did you first hear about the fires then? And how long was it before everything was gone?
So we heard about the Palisades at, honestly, I don't even remember the time. The day is a bit of a blur. But for us in Altadena, it was my sister, who lives in Cleveland, Ohio, who texted my wife and I. It was about 6:30 our time. We literally had just gotten home. We had some takeaway. We were kind of hunkering down. We obviously heard about the winds. It was really, really eerie and scary. And we're there, we're eating. Thankfully, we had some power because we have a Tesla Powerwall that also saved power during the day. And then we saw all the power went out, and then our power stayed on. And then we looked outside, and it's like, I hear the winds, it's eerie. We're like, we're okay. We're going to stay put. We don't know what to do. There's nothing happening as far as we know in terms of our city. Cut to roughly an hour later, it was about 7:30, 7:45 that we hear our friend and our neighbors screaming and yelling.
Oh my goodness.
And literally, then we walk out, and I go, why? Where do we need to go? Why do we need to leave? And we look and we see the fire literally coming over the hill. And I was not as alarmed as my wife was. I was like, look, that doesn't look super close. And she's like, Peter, that's close. You guys need to pack your things. You need to get Bella and Missy, and you need to leave the house immediately. And ultimately, our gate was stuck. We have a gate. I had to figure out how to open the gate. And it was awful. It was awful. And look, we're one of thousands, tens of thousands of stories. Look, LA, we're never going to be the same, right? And a government is to provide a few things: safety and security, right?
Yes.
The very, very least. They have failed on all accounts here, Ben. All accounts. We are not safe. We are not secure. It is beyond reproach. Let me give you another situation. I have a dear friend, of course, many friends, down the street from us. He stayed at his home from 3 a.m. until 8 a.m. with a garden hose fighting off flames.
Oh my goodness.
Nobody came, not a soul. He actually was able to save 2 structures on his property. One of them in the back, one of the back houses, gone. However, 7:30 a.m., okay, 7:30 a.m., a fire truck shows up. He's like, oh, thank God, right? They're going to come. They're going to help. They pull up to just across the street from his house, is a nursing home. There's a patch of grass that is burning. They get out, they put out the patch of grass. Meanwhile, Ben, the entire block is in flames, including my friend in his house. The fire truck turns around and leaves.
I mean, I
don't understand. I just don't understand.
And these are the kind of stories that are going to be coming out over the next few days where people are going to be asking some serious questions. I just want to get a sense from you about the level of devastation you're seeing and potentially the lack of empathy that's online. We are obviously covering this as breaking news. My studio is all red because of that. But there are some people saying that we shouldn't be covering these stories because people have money in these areas, they're wealthy, they're rich, and because of that, it's almost as if they can just get on by and this doesn't matter. What are your thoughts and what would you say to those people who say that there's still serious suffering here?
Look, suffering is suffering at the end of the day, and right, it is an awful situation we're all living in the world. Comparing to Gaza, to the United States, loss is loss, and anyone's pain is warrantable. Regardless of if you have money, if you have means, we all are human beings, and we're all experiencing complete tragedy. Like, above all else, first of all, also, a lot of these people don't have insurance. We're very thankful and we're very lucky that we do have it. The fire insurance has been canceled and being canceled for years, right? Like, Ben, I am in the real estate industry. I see it, I hear it every single day. And people they've not been able to renew. They've been being canceled. State Farm is one of the biggest culprits who've been canceling policies. They are already rejecting claims.
Wow.
It's insane. And look, even people that live in LA and that haven't lost their homes, Ben, LA, this beautiful, magical place, is never, ever going to be the same. I don't care how you rebuild or what you rebuild. In addition to that, what do you think the cost of insurance is going to be? $100,000 a year? Who's going to be able to afford, who is going to be willing to insure anything in our city? It's beyond comprehension. And regardless of what your means are, you have memories, you have lives that have been lived. Our home, Ben, was a home of healing, of love that we cultivated and we created, that everyone was accepted. We are a people that love everyone, and we've done everything we can to be a very special place. And you can ask any of our friends, everybody loved our home. Everybody loved our home. It was a special place. And this is for everybody that has a home.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
To be missing. It's just,
there's
no words. There are no words.
It's absolutely devastating. Peter, I want to thank you for staying up late, first of all, for speaking to me. I genuinely appreciate that. Your passion is coming across. I completely understand that this is just devastating. It's so much. But thank you for sharing that with our audience, and we genuinely appreciate it. And we're going to be covering this for the next few hours as well. So thank you. We wish you the best of luck. I'm sure we'll be talking very soon.
It's the least I can do to at least share one of the many stories for all the people that are losing what they're losing. And it's thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the time, and God bless all of us.
Thank you. And please do keep telling your story as well.